Girivaradari. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Book. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tera Vanachari. Vrindavan Dham Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Hare! Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Girivaradari. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Everybody! Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Vrindavan Dham Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gaur Premanande. Divine grace. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande! All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30. Text, today's is text 13. Kando pramlo chaya labdha. Kando pramlo chaya labdha. Kanya kamala lochana. Kanya kamala lochana. Tam chapa vidham jagrur. Tam chapa vidham jagrur. Bruruha nripanandana. Bruraha nripanandana. Kando pramla chaya labdha. Kanya kamala lochana. Tam chapa vidham jagrur. Bruruha nripanandana. Nandana. Nipanandanaha. Huh? Also, what is it? Oh. Kando of the sage Kundu. Pramlochaya by a heavenly society girl named Pramlocha. Labdha obtained. Kanya daughter. Kamala lochana lotus-eyed. Tam her. Cha also. Apavidham given up. Jagruhu accepted. Ruha the trees. Nripa Panandanaha, O sons of King Prachinabarishat. Translation: O son of King Prachinabarishat, the heavenly society girl named Pramlocha kept the lotus-eyed daughter of Kundu, in the care of the forest trees. Then she went back to the heavenly planets. This daughter was born by the couplings of the Apsara named Pramlocha with the sage Kundu. Purport: whenever a great sage undergoes severe austerities for material power, the king of heaven, Indra, becomes very envious. All the demigods have responsible posts for the management of universal affairs and are very highly qualified with pious activities. Although they are ordinary living entities, they are able to attain responsible posts like Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra and Varuna. As it is the nature of this material world, the king of heaven, Indra, is very anxious if a great sage undergoes severe austerities. The whole material world is filled with such envy that everyone becomes afraid of his neighbors. Every businessman is afraid of his associate because this material world is the field of activities for all kinds of envious people who have come here to compete with the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, Indra was very much afraid of the severe austerities performed by the great sage Kandu, and he sent Brahmalocha to break his vows and austerities. A similar incident took place in the case of Vishwamitra. From other incidents in the Shastras, it appears that Indra has always been envious. When King Prithu was celebrating various sacrifices, outing Indra became very envious and he disturbed King Prithu's sacrifice. This has already been discussed in previous chapters. King Indra became successful in breaking the vow of the great sage Kandu, who became attracted by the beauty of the heavenly society girl, Brahmalocha, and begot a female child. This child is described herein as lotus-eyed and very beautiful. Being thus successful in her mission, Brahmalocha returned to the heavenly planets, leaving the newborn child to the care of the trees. Fortunately, the trees accepted the child and agreed to raise her. Wow. Lucky we are not raised by the trees. One of the prime reasons for us to be in this world is explained here, is one is envious of that we are going to lose our position in this world. So King Indra is an example of that. In the Bhagavatam he explained nicely that whenever a sage performs austerities, they will become powerful. That's the quality of doing austerity. You get Shakti. So generally, someone who is in a greater position than us, or someone who is performing the austerities, they become jealous because they think that they will get power from such austerities and that they may take over them. So actually, this is the quality of a non-devotee. But as in the case of a devotee, we don't have to worry about that because we don't need any of those positions. We don't look for positions. So that's one thing we have to understand clearly. So this is in the case of the demigods. This is why the demigods are not great devotees, because the demigods, they are after power and glories and material wealth. So that makes them, but at the same time, they also like to be devotee. This is like a, mixed devotees. So they're not demons, but they have desire for glory and fame and respect. We all know what I'm talking about, because sometimes this is also in our case. We want to be in the front, and we want to have some material qualities that can, we want the glories and respect from others. But actually, when we don't get it, we become upset and jealous of others who has it. Isn't it? We don't have to worry about that because Krishna is in control. And we have to understand there's also karma. Because of the influence of the karma, because of our accumulation karma from previous life and in this life, we are awarded with a certain type of opulence, born in a good family, born in a very wealthy family, very strong, handsome, beautiful. This is also a result of a good karma. Bad karma, Prabhupada explained in the next version that people are born as ugly, very ugly and very poor, deformed. These things is a result of karma. So we always need to see What is the reason behind? You cannot jump to conclusion, and we have to always see through knowledge. But when we are filled with desires, material desires, and wanting of material assets in this world, then we become entangled in the karma. That's in the case of the demigods. Mentioned here, Chandra, Varuna, Indra. So sometimes the demigods, they're always very jealous, but the sages of Naimisaranya, the sages of the performing austerities in the forest, there's so many different sages. The wealth of the Brahmana is in his austerity. The other day we were talking about if you're a sannyasi, you will become wealthy, people will donate money. That isn't the purpose of becoming a sannyasi. People will automatically give you respect, people will automatically give you wealth. But we ourselves, we remain aloof. So we have to see what is the underlying. We don't become great devotees so we can get material wealth, so we can get respect. We want Krishna to know us, that's all. There is a verse in the next version, the devotees are praying, Krishna, please, I'm here, recognize me. Of course he recognizes, but that is our prayer. We don't want material things that entangles us. The reason why we went in the material world because we had desire in our heart, deep down, somewhere deep down in our heart, we had desires to compete with Krishna, like Prabhupada says in the purport here. We want to compete with Bhagwan. I want to compete, I want to be like him. So that's why the material world created, because in the material world here we can imitate to be like God. So, as the prachetas, they ordered by God himself to marry their daughters of the Kandu, So, everything Krishna, those who are Kshatriya, they can have more than wives. Sometimes you read in the Mahabharata and our scriptures, the kings, they used to have so many wives. Because they were very kingly and they had opulent and they were very strong, they can maintain them. But that is not accepted in this Kali Yuga right now, because we won't be able to take care of. So the difference we have to see if Krishna wants us to perform certain type of devotional service or certain type of responsibility, that is okay. It is not for our sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada used to tell somebody, okay, you get married. He told someone, you take sannyas. You remain brahmachari. Because he knew these people are not going to, this guy, he cannot be a brahmachari or sannyasi. He knew that. He'd be better off as a grihastha. And he can perform service to Krishna as a grihastha. So it's spiritual. It's not condemned. One can be a grihastha and serve Krishna. But of course there's consequences, there's responsibilities you have to take. It's not that, I'll be, get married and live a good life. They have a lot of anxiety to be able to remain as a good grihastha. On top of all the responsibilities, you need to chant your rounds, you need to study the Shastra. You also need to develop love for Krishna. So Prabhupada used to say, you become a grihastha, 70%, it becomes less, 70%. It cuts your devotional service because you have to worry about so many things to maintain the family. Worry about bringing money in and pay for this, pay for that, school, children. Oh my God, it's just endless. You can ask any grihasthas. So brahmachari life, it's a wonderful life. It's an opulent. The real opulence when you don't have anything, nothing to worry about. That is, brahmachari life is what everybody wants. But because they cannot maintain, they climb up to grihastha life. But I'm not saying grihastha is bad. If they can, a good grihastha is that they have, Shukadeva was saying yesterday, Putra, Mutra. You know that? He's talking about this yesterday. So if you can make your children Krishna conscious, then they become proper Putra. They can liberate you. Putra, Tra means to liberate from the parents, from going down to material, take birth again. They can liberate you. But if you cannot, the chances are it's not easy to make your children Krishna conscious in this day and age. Because they're going to school, they're going here, there, there's so much bad association. It's beyond our power to force them to be Krishna conscious. So, if you can keep your hands clean, not take too much responsibility. Our main responsibility in human life is to be Krishna conscious. Is to associate with devotees. What is the problem in that? When you come to here, people are not hurting you. We don't have anybody here at the gate with a machine gun. Here is a peaceful place. Krishna is standing playing flute. He say, come on, come to me. When you are in the womb, before you are born, it says in Bhagavatam that we are suffering so much in the womb that we are praying to Krishna, please get us out, I'll serve you, I promise you. It's just like sometime you're in a very difficult situation, there's so much suffering, you're praying, please get me out of this, please help me. We're asking devotees or someone who can help us. Similarly, we're in the womb and we are suffering so much. We're being beaten by worms inside the womb. We're all squashed in. So we're praying to Krishna. So when you come out, we forget the promise we made to serve Krishna. So those days the kings, they had a lot of power. But they were not ordinary kings. This mentioned here, Prachina Varishat. They were great devotees of Krishna. They're not entangled by family life, even though they had family, children, but they're not entangled. When they turn 50, or after 50, straight for the forest. Vanapasta. I'm now for Krishna. I'm yours. They have to make sure that their wife and their children are grown up, that they're taken care of. They've done all their duty. Hit for the forest. There's no forest these days. They cut all the trees. Dank Street. Go to ISKCON temple. Full dandavat. Krishna, I'm yours. I'm suffering so much. Please help me. I want to serve you. I had enough of material life. Now I want to be yours. This is why Krishna created old age. You go to a heavenly planet, there's no old age. They're having the Somarasa at the age of 100 years old, but they don't look like old, and the time's up. And he said, you have to come down while you're having that Somarasa in your cup. Down in the material world. Birth, death, old age, disease. Take birth in Melbourne or in India, and we're immersed in misery. So we are very lucky. To Krishna, we have to always listen to what Krishna says. That is what Maya means. Maya means which is something not. We are embracing Maya in the material world. Jhapati Hare. The other day someone was saying, Maya said, come on. She has a knife and cuts your throat. And you're thinking, I'm enjoying. There's a camel that lives in a desert area, and they're eating the thorn. That's their halava, like we eat. That's their delicacy. They eat thorn, and they're bleeding in their mouth, and they're thinking, this is the pleasure. So sense enjoyment in the material world is like that. You're suffering, but you're thinking as a fantastic. That's Maya. I'm so enjoying. Where is enjoyment? So, Bhagavatam points out, those who can be Krishna conscious in the midst of family life, in the midst of such so-called material enjoyment, it's a challenge. The real challenge. So why not we become Krishna conscious while we have everything here already? Why we go for sense enjoyment when there is so much harder to be Krishna conscious? Already everything is here for us to be Krishna conscious. We're looking elsewhere. So the prachetas, this is not in this age. This happened in other yugas where everybody was Krishna conscious, more or less. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga. You go out, everybody, Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Not just in the temple, everybody was very Krishna conscious. This happened in the Satya Yuga. That time people were very Krishna conscious. Golden age. Now we're living in iron age. We want a piece of gold, they have to dig the ground to get a little piece of gold so you can hang it around your neck. Everything is made of iron, metal, rusty metal. So we're living in iron age. Kale dosa nite rajan. Everyone in this Kali Yuga is full of fault. This is why everybody, everyone is looking for fault, because it is full of fault. So the tendency is to always look fault in others because we are living in faulty age. But we forget, we're also very lucky. Kali Yuga was the most lucky, more than the Satya Yuga. Because in this age, you can just chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada made it so easy for us. Chant Hare Krishna, take prasadam. Wow. Oh, no thanks. That's too austere for me. That's too austerity, to take prasadam every day, 3 times a day, and chant Hare Krishna, which is and dance and sing and ecstasy. That's too austerity. And they rather work hard and get paid a little bit and live the life like that. So the Krishna consciousness movement is Srila Prabhupada's mercy on us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy on us. Made it so easy. All you have to do is follow the 4 principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. 4 things. We don't do those things. People say, if you don't do those things, where is the enjoyment you're getting from? What else is there? So, Bhagavatam gives the 2 sides of the coin. It tells you what is material life and what is spiritual life. You can compare it. So spiritual life is the bright side. Material life is the ignorant side, the dark side. And spiritual life, look to the light. Look to the divine. Look upward, the supreme. Don't look down to the material world. Rise above. This is what yoga says. So Bhagavatam points out very clearly what is the process for us to liberate from this ignorant material world. Om Ajnanatirvanandasya, to come out of ignorance, clear away from the darkness of ignorance. Krishna Suja Sama Maya Andaka Jaha Krishna Ta Nahi Maya Adhikar. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya. It's far away. Maya Adhikar doesn't have the power. So we are under protection of Krishna. We don't have to worry. Abhay Charan De. Abhay means one who is fearless. Srila Prabhupada was fearless. He was in America all alone, no money, no friend. In fact, he has more friends than non-devotees because Krishna is with him. But in material speaking, he's in a foreign country from Vrindavan, an elderly sadhu, Prabhupada. Well, these are very dangerous place. But Prabhupada was always taking Ananama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. He's taking the shelter of Krishna. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. So he has no fear. We have to be followers of the previous Acharya. Mahajana Jana Gathasha Pantha. We are the followers of the Mahajanas. Srila Prabhupada is Mahajan. He's known as Senapati Bhakta. You know what that means? The commander-chief of the army. Right now, there's so many war going on. But there is a war inside us. We are battling with our mind and senses. Every day there's a battle. To wake up is difficult. To chant Hare Krishna is difficult because mind is dragging us. Go have a sleep. we're struggling always. This is a battle inside us. There's no need to point at others, but to look into our own self. How hard it is to chant Hare Krishna, even though it's easy. How hard it is to control the senses. Sex desire, desire for a name and fame, very subtle desires. How do you get rid of that? It's so subtle. You can take a shower, a nice warm shower with soap, but that's to cleanse the external body. How do you clean the heart and the mind and the consciousness? Through the holy name. That has to be quality chanting. Just like we look for a really good soap, natural, as much as possible, to cleanse the body nicely. So, you can chant Shiva and so many other mantras. But the holy name, it is the recommended, powerful. It can only cleanse the heart. Even if you chant the name of the demigod, they don't have the power to liberate you. Only Hare Krishna mantra, by the mercy of the gurus and sadhus. That means Srila Prabhupada is more powerful than the demigods, because he can liberate us. The demigods cannot liberate us, they can only bind us in this world. So, you have to see, it's a very, Bhagavatam is so, I always want to know how easy to be purified. Just have to Srivanam, Savanama Kirtanam, by the hearing the topics of the Bhagavatam, the glories of Krishna from the Bhagavatam, spoken by the devotees. So easy. But we find it difficult. Because so many different anarthas. You want to do smooth swimming. You have to clear away all the on the leaves and weeds that's growing under water from the sea. Then when you clear away, you can do smooth swimming. So Krishna consciousness is a smooth swimming process given by his divine grace Srila Prabhupada. It's so easy because it's given by Prabhupada, because Prabhupada knows he's coming down from Krishna. He's in that line. So we make it difficult. It's very difficult because we make it difficult. Just like to run the temple, to run any society, any organization, it's easy. But because there are people who they'll deviate, then it becomes difficult for the management. You see, the government is so tough for them with the criminals, and there is rogues and criminals and corruption in the government itself. So it's very difficult to run a smooth society. So similarly, Satya Yuga, that time people were very pure, very clean. There was no bad, no corruption. Everyone is good. But they may not be necessarily the devotees of Krishna, because in Satya Yuga people were very pious, but they didn't have Krishna Bhakti. We have Krishna Bhakti in this Kali Yuga. We have the holy name. They didn't have the holy name, they can sit and meditate. So, Prabhupada says here, so we need to, the whole material world is filled with such envy that everyone becomes afraid of his neighbors. Even people here, neighbors here, so close to us, and then I come to the temple. They know this Krishna consciousness is right here. The path to liberation, path to back to Godhead is right under their nose. Right under the nose. It's here. But they looking elsewhere. Because they are jealous. Envy is such a bad quality. You see the snakes. They will bite anyone. Even they didn't do anything to them. They still bite you. You're an innocent person. You see, in India there are so many snake bites. You can hear about it. In villages and places, people are dying from snake bites. They told me. In villages, they love snakes. They had like, what's his name, Parikshit Maharaj, when he was bitten by a snake, and his brother, right? His name is Maharaj Janmejaya, his son. Yeah, his son. He did the fire yagya, and he wanted to get rid of all the snakes in the world. He said, he beat my brother, no, his father, he wanted to kill all the snakes. So then he started a huge yagya, and all the snakes were coming from wherever they are. And even if they don't want to, they get like dragged in, even from heavenly planets. Big snakes were coming into the fire. And there was one snake, there's Vasuki, there's like king of snakes, right, in the heavenly planets, and he was very afraid to come. So he wrapped himself around the mountain. And the whole mountain was dragged because of the power of the mantra. And so Brahma and Shiva, they all had to come down and they had to stop him because he said, this is not good. So he had to stop him. But by that time, millions of snakes around the world were killed, was burned into the fire. So it's mentioned that if he didn't kill so many snakes, we would have more snakes today. So he actually get rid of all the snakes back then, now he have less. Lucky he did that. So I'm saying is that snakes, they're very jealous. They step on you. If you step on them, they immediately bite you. And people are like that today too. You step on someone, or by accident you touch them, they get very upset. If in some country they all have gun, they'll say, they may kill you, just because you look at them in the wrong way. The people are very disturbed. So we need to stay calm in Krishna consciousness. Our satisfaction is from within. We're not disturbed by these things. So we have to give up this jealousness. Sometimes somebody has a position, I don't have a position, and so I put my name on the list. Can I be that? Be satisfied what Krishna give you. The man become women, women become man, these things are going on. People are satisfied with themselves. But these things are not necessary for those who are completely satisfied in serving Krishna. There is no need to change anything. They accept it as karma. In India, nowadays people have abortion because they want a male child. If it's female, they will abort. So sometimes devotee, you can go, if it's a pregnancy, they can check what's coming, male or female. So there was one Mataji in Mayapur, and the Prabhu, they had 4 daughters. So then they want the 5th one, they wanted a boy. So they got the brahmanas to chant the mantras and make sure that the child is a boy. But they prayed for Krishna, they prayed to Krishna for it. They don't need to do so many mantras. If they're actually sincere, they pray to Krishna. Krishna will provide. So it was actually a boy. So the brahmana, they chanted so many mantras and changed the boy into a girl by accident. You know what I mean? So they have 5 daughters. So my point is, we should just not worry too much. Just be sincere and pray to Krishna, and He will give. I believe in that. I totally believe in that. Why people go to psychiatrists and go to some hoodloo, and they can give you some inner instructions and mantra? It's because we don't have faith in Krishna. Like people sometimes even, they have problem among the family, they're fighting with each other, they beat up the wife, violence, family violence. So they say you go and see counseling, go into counseling. I never actually understood that because what instruction they're going to give? They probably have the same problem, the counseling people, karmis. So, if you read the Bhagavatam, if you chant Hare Krishna, associate devotee, very sincerely pray to Krishna, that is counseling. If you have the ultimate faith in Krishna, Krishna's there. He'll give you the Shakti. He will purify the situation. He'll make things correct. We don't have to worry about it. But because we're freaking out, then we go see someone else except Krishna, where they give you the wrong. I remember there was this person who was bitten by a snake, and the uncle was a snake charmer. He can bring the poison out. Really good. He is expert. So the guy was going to someone else. He forgot. He has a bicycle, and he was going to someone else who is not so expert. So they bought him, and usually when a snake bites you, if it's in the arm, then they tie it here. The poison doesn't go to the head. So then, they tied the arm here, the poison was down here, so it's not going to the head, otherwise he'll die. So he said, when he came, he said, open that. And he had some plans with the mantra, and he was shaking the tree over his arm with mantra. And he opened the tide, untied the knot, and the poison went to the head. But he can only do that if he is a very expert charmer. But he was not an expert, but he was just trying to do, and he died. So, what I'm saying is, expert people, we are not taking those who are expert. We're going to the wrong person. So, your counseling means you accept what is the best. Best is Srila Prabhupada. I always believe, even when I'm doing small thing like cooking, something simple, not very big thing, I always pray to Krishna. Oh, please, today, food, I'm not an expert, please help me. Actually, that is the best method. Because even if you're expert, we always have to stay in that consciousness. Oh, Krishna, please help me. You are the everything, you are the best. You're Bhagavan, you're God. You're the creator of the best. What is wrong in that consciousness? So if I go around, I'm really good. That day the food's not good. Because it all starts in your consciousness. So if your consciousness is pure, purity is what? Nobody is pure. Krishna is pure. Am Purnamadaha Purnamidam. He is the purest of the pure. So we become pure because we are associating with the purest thing of God. Am Purnamadaha. So if you associate with non-devotee, a karmi, with a prostitute, or associate with those who are meat-eaters, all kinds of people, then their Shakti, their ignorance rubs onto us. This is why we disassociate with a non-devotee. This is the reason. Because it drags us down to their level. So if we stay in the sadhu sangha, they have that Shakti. So I always believe counseling for us is to read Bhagavatam. You see, this is why people who are so crazy, pagal, ekdam pagal, so crazy, before they came to Krishna consciousness, they're nuts. And they became proper disciple, and they serve him, they joined the temple, they became sane, isn't it? They become devotees, they become great devotees. Before they are pagal. So always believe the real counseling is to take shelter of Prabhupada, is to take shelter of the holy name. All your anathas will go. Simple. If the devotee tell you to go and seek counseling, there's something wrong with that. Sit down, read Bhagavatam. I remember somebody told me, what's his name, Hirananda Maharaj, that he was married for 1 month, and he didn't want to, so somehow he had to. So he was reading Bhagavatam to his wife all night, and she said he get lost. You're not a good husband. If you were Haridas Thakur, and the third night, the prostitute shaved her head and became a devotee. because they're attracted by the pure chanting of Hare Thakur. So this is an example of how much purity is there in chanting and in Bhagavatam. So we have problem with sense control? Chant Hare Krishna. Read Bhagavatam. It's so difficult to sit in one place and read Bhagavatam and chant Hare Krishna. Like I go to home, I'm finishing my rounds, then after a few months I'm thinking, oh, I have to check the phone. And the message came. And then you start chanting another few rounds, another message. So where is the quality of chanting if we do that? You have to be very determined. I'm going to chant no matter what happens first. My japa first. Then I arrive, I'm middle of chanting, I really need to go to the toilet. I said, I don't care what material body says. I'm going to finish my rounds. I die, I don't care. People say, if you hold and it goes into your bladder or something. I say, oh, so what? At the worst thing can happen, I die. But the soul doesn't die. I was preaching to myself. I said, I'm going to the back of the house, so I'm not inside the house. So I'm going to chant japa, and the phone ring, this, that, I don't care. I'm going to finish my rounds nicely. We talk about, this is what Krishna says. When you talk about determination, that's what it means. I'm going to do it no matter what. I don't care. Today's Ekadashi, I'm going to eat only no grains, very strictly. I have two problems in this Hare Krishna movement. Two problems. Very badly, those two problems are very common problem. That Ekadashi, I won't eat grains. It's so difficult to follow Ekadashi. And the other thing is getting up in the morning. So I always say to myself, that was when you're younger, you want to eat, rice and things. But now when you get older, you don't care about. Nowadays, sometimes I don't eat all day. But we have to go against what tells us not to. Go against the, if this is what pleases Prabhupada, this is what pleases Krishna, I want to do that. Be strong about it. That is a real strength. Strength is always not the muscle strength, the body strength. It's spiritual strength, Shakti. That Shakti is from the holy name. And this is why the Prachetas, they were so pure. They could produce sons. They're so handsome, so beautiful, because they themselves were beautiful. They could take care of them. You see people nowadays, in our society, not only that, always very prominent. They get married, after some time, divorce. After divorce, I marry again. 4, 5 times, 8 times. They lose face doing that. Whereas our founder, Guru Srila Prabhupada, was married once. We are his disciple and we marry so many times. And we say, follow the footsteps of our Guru. You know what I mean? So ask yourself, ask ourselves, how much are we actually taking shelter of our Guru Maharaj? It's we first. The Guru says, no, not this girl, that girl. But he already decided to marry that girl. And then he's telling Guru Maharaj, please. But Guru is actually telling you not to. Please give me your blessing, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj actually don't want you to marry at all. But he's being respectful. Or in fact, he's saying, you choose this girl and not that girl. Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada also, he wanted to marry one girl. And his father said, no, not that girl, this girl. Because that girl is too beautiful, maybe making you not Krishna conscious. Because Srila Prabhupada's father was pure devotee. So he listened to him. He married the girl who was not so beautiful. So my point is that we need to see what pleases Guru and not us. We decide to do something that pleases us and then tell Guru Maharaj, oh, please bless me. What do you think? But that is not the way. Before you decide anything, you have to go see your Guru for his blessing. If Guru Maharaj said, your you stay brahmachari whole life. You have to. You say, no, I cannot control my senses. What? Even if you're married, you have to control senses. Yeah. Even if you are sense enjoyer, those who are grihasthas, you have to control the senses too. The sense control means what? It means have children only for the sake of having children. That's all. It's not unlimited enjoyment there. It's actually more anxiety. So what Haridas Thakur was chanting japa, and the prostitute asked, I want to associate with you. He said, I'll attend to you when I finish my rounds. And that never happened because he kept chanting. So it's not that we are devotees, we don't have a lust. We have, but we don't have time for it. We'll just finish my round then. When I finish my japa, finish my service, but that never happens. So we always have to filter ourselves, filter it. This is not good, this is good. You know, okay. There's people who want to do yoga. So, makes sense what I said? Any questions? Or somebody on the line? Yeah, Prabhava.
Prabhu, you said in your lecture that sometimes devotees, they pray to the Lord, please recognize my service. And it has also been said in Shri Upanishad that they are praying to the Lord, please, whatever I have done in the past, please recognize it. But if you see in one sense, some other statements also been said in scriptures that a pure devotee does not ask anything in the favor for the Lord. He just say whatever or whichever situation you want to keep me, I'm just happy in such a way. So just help me to understand this. Okay. How do we understand?
Good question, actually.
Hare.
The thing is, it depends what it is. If it's always an issue amongst somebody who is sincere or not sincere. First thing, everybody goes to God to pray. Even if, that's what Krishna says, 4 kinds of men come to him. Always, if there's a difficult situation, even you want counseling, you want to see something, somebody can advise you on that. But nobody says, oh, I'm okay, even if you're suffering. You want counseling, you need someone to tell you something for correction, or good or bad. But generally speaking, it is good for an advice, for us to make spiritual advancement. That is a good thing. To improve our Krishna consciousness, this is what scripture says, we follow the footsteps of devotees. You don't say, I already know, I'm Chanta hai sab kuch, I don't need your show me your example. That's a wrong attitude. Okay, it's a fact, Krishna has put us in this situation, but to become better devotee of Krishna, we can ask Krishna. If we think these people are not capable of giving the right instruction, maybe they're not qualified, ask Krishna, talk with him, it's okay. You talk with yourself, pray to Krishna. When you're chanting, pray to Krishna. This is why we hear Krishna hearing our prayers. But we never say, whatever you gave me is okay. Just like I was giving the example that some devotees think whatever the child I have, boy or girl, I accept. I don't want to X-ray because I'll be disturbed. I'm happy what you give me. But that's good also, but if we can be better prepared if we know what is coming. This is my attitude. Okay, boy is coming, then we prepare, they have boys things, girls coming, then we prepare. It's not wrong to check. We can do something to make things more better. If they're deformed, then perhaps there's a way to fix that before it's born. That's one example. But I'm just saying that for us to be Krishna conscious, it's always good to consult. it's always good to see. This is why the association of devotees is there, so we can check each other. I'm not doing it right, this devotee is doing it right, and then he can tell me, and you can see for yourself. So there is an exchange. But that is also an attitude to think, what Krishna has given me, I'm satisfied with that. That's overall speaking. Like what situation you are in, you are born in a particular family, what kind of situation you are in, you're satisfied with that. But when you're talking about individual spiritual advancement, serving Krishna, loving your Guru and Krishna, then we need to see, pray. Maybe not others can help you. So there's reason for everything. Makes sense, right?
It looks like most of these apsaras which are sent by Indra to disturb sages, austerity.
Mm-hmm.
So they seems to have given birth to girl child only, child which is girl. Even in case of Vishwamitra and here, many examples, they end up giving birth to a child, a girl. Any specific reason?
Sometimes we have, the way we think is always tainted with our own motivation. Or we want a girl, we want a boy. It's in our interest. It's in our interest. What's wrong with girl? They can be also a very good devotee. So there's a reason. They had the girl. They could have a boy. But that is after Krishna. This happened Satya Yuga. So it's not like these days, because the boys will go to work and bring money and support the family. It's not the issue. That's not the issue. Satya Yuga, boy or girl, they were all pure at that time. So it depends on you, and it was the desire of God that they have a girl, and the girl was pure devotee. This is why it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Why is not our people in the Bhagavatam? So they're very special people. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we have to always see that, see things through the Shastra. Yeah. That when we attend to the desire, motivation, then I like this guy, I like this boy, I like this girl, like that. This becomes a material consciousness. So you kill the girl in the womb, like the abortion, because the girl is, they're not going to support us, and so many reasons, and get a boy. But how do we know if the boy is going to make us good also? They can be the source of your suffering. They take drugs, kill you, and so many things. In India, we ask for girls, because girls Lakshmi. If a girl's taken birth in their family, they're going to bring good luck. Sometimes they say that, right? Girls, they're like Lakshmi. They bring good luck to the family. Sometimes, boy, they can be a rogue or a dacoit. Who knows? So not necessarily. So when you see things in the material consciousness, oh yeah, this girl's better. But those that we're talking about Satya Yuga. And it's mentioned here, the girl's very beautiful and very... Usually, I always find people who are like girls who are very beautiful and very pretty, it's not always they are become a Miss Universe. They also become a good devotee. They use their beauty to serve Krishna. It's in their culture. And those who are ugly, they want to always look beautiful, and they work so hard, and they're very mundane consciousness, making up and doing the surgery to look better. You try to see these things. And those who are born naturally beautiful, handsome, and big, and it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, born in a family of a righteousness and a very beautiful, handsome, Brahman family. People who are ugly is karma. But the problem is, we cannot judge. Or they are really ugly, but they're always looking to become rich and making up to look more beautiful or handsome. So it's mundane, but it can be also, they can be devotees. So we don't know these things. Better to read the Bhagavatam and see what is the best instruction that we can apply as a devotee. Yeah. This is how I see it. Samajh gaya? I've got to go because there's... So it was a good discussion, right? Thank you. Hare Krishna.